Hi there. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Tinnitist TV. Today I am talking to Sophie Gault. Good things don't always take time, and her newest album, Unhinged, is proof of that. The Nashville singer-songwriter's lively new LP was mostly recorded in a single day, and it sounds like it. That's a compliment, by the way. Filled with raucous roots rockers, gritty blues, and covers of everyone from Buck Owens to Robert Johnson, and all topped with Galt's honey and whiskey voice, Unhinged packs all the punch and potency of a shot of juke-joint bourbon. Shortly after its release, Sophie zoomed in from home to talk about third albums, her musical roots, cruise ship gigs, and plenty more. Enjoy. Let's get down to business. It's been about a month or so since Unhinged came out. Um, how does that feel now that it's out there and in the world, and you know it's everybody else's now and not yours anymore?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I've gotten like some good responses from people. It's a really fun, exciting kind of rock and roll album, so people love that and they said a lot of nice things and I feel like yeah, I'm always moving towards the next thing. So I'm kind of like, okay, that chapter is
Uh huh.
closed and now I'm moving on to whatever's next, but
Is it a relief to put it out like that and have it? Because I mean, you must still be kind of nervous when you put something out, and are people going to like it or are they going to hate it? Are you happy with it when or do they have to pry it out of your hand? It seems like a really
right.
fraught kind of moment.
Yeah, luckily, I mean, I have never really suffered from that of like, never being able to be satisfied with things. Like I am pretty picky about things sometimes, but I'm not too precious about all that stuff. And I think
Mm.
once it reaches a certain point, it's sort of been a challenge over the last few years to work with different people and kind of work within the box that you're given of like, certain working with certain session musicians, working with different producers, and every time is different and it sounds a little bit different, and there's more of me that gets exposed. And then we put it out into the world and people say different things. So it's always interesting to hear back what people say because there's no one particular, I mean, method that I've been using for
Right.
all three of my albums. It's just sort of like, we're going to do it this way this time, and we're going to do it this way this other time. And through that process, you learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, I think to me, third albums are kind of interesting points in a career because the first one is, you're just thrilled to be making an album and getting to express yourself, and you've probably got all these tunes you've been writing for years and perfecting, and you get all those out there.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
then the second one, I think for a lot of artists is just a sequel to the first. Maybe it's your leftover stuff, but I think
Yeah.
ultimately you're just kind of trying to prove it wasn't a fluke the first time around.
Right.
But now with a third album, you're sort of in this position of okay, I've done this a couple of times. This is what I do, and
Yeah.
it's your first, maybe your first chance to sort of go, okay, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? You actually get to sort of decide what direction you want to go to and how you, excuse me, want to express yourself. So, what was the third album experience like to you in comparison to the first two?
Well, um, to be honest, I was going to do a different album completely
Hmm.
on my own before I switched over labels and management. And I'd been writing some more songs, and I was gonna go in and have it be a completely different sound, similar to the first album, because I got really lucky with my first album in that there was no oversight. There was just, funding for an album, which meant I got to go in with people I already knew and make choices like add strings or uh, change the guitar. But we got really kind of kooky creative in that
Right.
particular experience. which I think was good. And I was trying to do that again this time around, but it just nothing fell into place. And I had the songs, but and most of those songs are still unrecorded.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I got onto Alex Torres's label, and he saw me play a live show, and he's like, I really want to do an album with you, and I want to do what you're doing here when you do. He had heard me play the Robert Johnson song, Stop Breaking
Right.
Down. And he was like, I want to go see more of that side of you
Mm.
and do like more of a rock album. And, and then it just went from there. And that kind of challenged me to write more of that kind of material and then kind of select other material that I hadn't written that would fit that vibe. And so the concept was Unhinged. It's a rock and
Right.
roll album, which I can do. I mean, I've played in bars doing that style my whole adult life. So it was like it was a pretty easy album to let loose on and not be so precious about, which I think
Right.
comes through in the music.
Definitely. And it makes sense to the extent of I can see somebody going to see you play and going, well, you're up there playing rock and roll guitar, and then I listen to the albums, and they're a little more, diverse and produced, and that dichotomy. So, I mean, that was very much a thing of him wanting to, and I presume you went along with that, kind of capture the vibe. So it sort of makes sense that people will hear this and then see you, and it's kind of the same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a complex thing. It's not, people always go, "Oh, so you play like electric guitar." And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "Well, I can. It's part of my set
Right.
sometimes or acoustic." I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's ballads and then there's more rockin' type song, which, you see go to a lot of these people's shows who are big, big artists, and they have a lot in the mix. It's not just one
Sure.
rock and roll song after another. And so it's kind of hard to like you get in the industry of it and people try to put you in one particular box or another,
Sure.
and it's just hard to deal with that sometimes, but
Sure.
that's
So
part of
if he
being
had
an
come to see you
artist.
on another night, it might have been a different album. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
You might
I
have
mean,
got to
I
make that
think
album you wanted to make.
I've gotten to the point now where I'm playing songs from all three of my albums, and I'm like, I just have my favorites that I
Hmm.
like to go to. Doesn't matter what album it was on, but yeah, it's the live show is always different from what you hear on recordings. I mean, that's pretty much across the board with all my contemporaries, my friends and stuff.
Well,
We
sure.
talk about this all the time. It's like, having the live show match the recording, especially when you live in Nashville, because all these people aren't available all the time to go down to the five spot and play with you. So you get to know a big group of musicians that can fill in on your set. And musicians are all different. You're going to get a different sound with whoever you play with at the time.
Right. Love the five spot, by the way.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
yeah. So when I listened to Delusions of Grandeur, and feel free to correct slash disagree with me on this, I heard a lot of songs about picking up and leaving, leaving town, leaving a relationship. It seemed to me when I heard it to be a lot of songs about disconnection and
Mm-hmm.
restlessness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when I listened to Baltic Street Hotel, that seemed like a kind of a story of healing, a journey from maybe not so great a place to a more optimistic spot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and with this one, I know, I mean, I get the sense from what you've been telling me about the concept behind it and the creation of it that it wasn't necessarily a narrative in the same sense that some of your
Mm-hmm.
other stuff has been. Um, but there does seem to be kind of an arc to it. I mean, to me, it kind of starts off at the same emotional place as where Baltic ends, in a kind of with the Buck Owens, love's gonna live, and then,
Mm-hmm.
but it seems to sort of gradually slide down emotionally to the end point of the Gurf cover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is there some sort of a story that goes with it, or a thing that maybe you just even make up in your head to kind of come up with the sequencing
Yeah.
and the, you know?
I do make up things in my head a lot. I'm a pretty imaginative person, but or have been. But I think that this album, there's a lot of themes tied into it that only I know that maybe aren't obvious to other people. But that I went on that outlaw cruise last year, which had a big influence on me going out and like being on international waters with all these people that are huge names on these bills, Americana legends and icons and stuff like that. And getting to meet a lot of these people. Like I met Elizabeth Cook, who I've been a big fan of for a long time. And so there's this, an outlaw has kind of shown me a lot of support, the Sirius XM outlaw.
Mm,
So I've kind of found a home in that area where I was struggling to find one like before and somehow got in the door with those people and they've been very welcoming and I think ending it on the Gurf song, he's out on his own waters and this, I picture him
mm,
out on a kayak out in the waters of Canada where he wrote that song about. And it sort of ties into me because all that music is like the same to me, whether you speed it up or slow it down. Like Gurf is one of my favorite writers, guitar players, whatever. He's been a huge influence on me. And in my world, he and his songs are part of the same songbook that I would grab a Buck Owens song from or a Robert Johnson song from. And so
mm,
it all kind of tied together to me
mm.
in a really beautiful way that I didn't plan out or anything. But
Right. I wanted to ask you about the that outlaw cruise stuff because it seems really weird to me. It must be a surreal place to be going and gigging, you know?
yeah, yeah, it really is. I mean, it's just so odd. I'd never been on a cruise before either. So I
Mm,
was just getting used to cruises. And then my first cruise, uh, yeah, it's with all these people and there's not any place to really hang out besides the casino or like
You a big
going to see
gambler?
a show. Yeah, I learned how to gamble. I learned how to play roulette,
Yeah.
which was really funny because I must have had beginner's luck or something because I was on such a roll. I had all these chips in front of me. I started with very little and then it was just like piles of chips and everyone was like shouting my name and like I would pick 33 and 33 red and in whatever. I picked a number in this column and it good over and over again.
Oh,
And
okay.
so people started recognizing me every night when we'd go back. It was a lot of fun. I mean, ugh, yeah, it's a very surreal type of experience especially when you have all these people you've been listening to for years just like
Uh-huh.
walking around and yeah.
But you haven't been addicted to gambling since? You haven't been back to the
Oh
wheel, or you
no.
were? No,
No,
okay.
I don't have enough money for
Yeah,
that.
well, that's the problem, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so the thing that I noticed about the album right off the bat, obviously, is that it's obviously like you said, a rockier, more guitar, electric guitar oriented album. It's also kind of your bluesiest album in a way. A
Mhm.
lot of these songs, I mean, even the country ones are mostly 1-4-5 kind of progressions, and
Mhm.
obviously you've got Robert Johnson in there. Um, and from what I've read about you, that's sort of like going back home for you in a way to
Mhm.
play that kind of music. From what I understand, that's sort of what you grew up on listening to and learning from. Have I got that right?
Yes, absolutely. I was big into blues as a teenager and I felt really strongly that I needed to learn blues before I learned anything else.
Why?
Just from like reading about all my heroes, there's not a single one of people that I look up to that didn't understand the language of blues.
Mm,
And so I listened to a lot of blues and I played a lot of blues and I had family members, we would just jam on blues. It's a language. It's like a really emotive language in music. I mean, it's different from other kinds of music because it's so based on expression. And
mm-hmm,
so I think that really shaped how I play my own music. And I never wanted to be a blues artist. I always wanted to be, writing my own material and drawing from other influences. But blues is a big, big part of what I do. Even in the other albums too, I think it's there. But on this one in particular, yeah, it was more shining more of a light on that.
Right. But you're from the East Coast, right? Like
Mhm.
Washington, D.C. area.
Yeah.
Is there a blues scene there? Is there something that you could kind of,
Yeah, there's
okay.
actually a pretty big one. And my dad and his friends like grew up. There were a lot of big music circles in where my dad grew up in Southeast DC, and he went to school with this guy Danny Gatton, who you probably heard
Oh,
of.
yeah. Well, yeah, kind of
Yeah, the
legendary.
Humbler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he went to school with my dad,
Hmm.
and there was like I remember when I was a kid, there were these Tuesday night hangs at my dad's friends that live in Tacoma Park, Maryland, and they had jams in their basement, and there was like a lot of blues being played, and music from the '60s, which was of course like all pretty blues influenced, and I just grew up around that stuff. I mean, it was part of the backdrop of my childhood, and it really influenced me later on in life.
Hmm. It's interesting though because also when I listen to your voice, as you said, I don't necessarily hear somebody who has that. Like you listen to Bonnie Raitt and you go, okay, blues.
Mhm.
Or Lucinda even, and it's there.
Mhm.
When I hear you sing, I honestly, I hear as much sort of classic pop and rock in your voice. Like it
Mhm.
feels like you could also
Yeah.
be fronting a Fleetwood Mac cover band if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Like, did
I
you
know.
was that part also? I mean, I know it's just in the
Oh,
air
yeah.
when you're growing
Yeah.
up, you
Oh,
hear
I
that
think it's
stuff.
intentional.
Hmm.
I think I try not to sound like those people.
Oh, well, sure, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to, yeah,
Sound
I
like
always was
anybody,
very
really, right?
careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was careful as a teenager because you're trying different voices out and you're seeing what works, and I just would listen back to myself and be like, "Oh, I sound like a copycat." Like so I tried. I don't know. I've gone on long journeys with my voice, and I'm probably just as much influenced by Billy Joe Armstrong as I
Right.
am Emmylou Harris, or there's some Bonnie in there. But I try to like not be any too much of one flavor. And I grew up in the early 2000s. Weezer was a big influence
Right.
on me. I listened to a lot of different kinds of music. Yeah.
Sure, sure, sure. The other thing I noticed about this album is it and makes sense given what we've been talking about. It feels or sounds like your least produced album. Not in the sense that it's lo-fi or anything like that, but that it doesn't have all of the layers and the overdubs and that some of your previous
Yeah.
stuff does. This one feels more like it was you set up, you recorded these songs, you banged them out, you captured them, you put
Yeah.
on the solos and put some reverb on the vocals and then that was it. It
Yeah.
feels like it was a fairly fast creation and production. Was it a pretty quick thing?
Oh yeah, it was very fast. We did most of it in a day, and I just plugged in and we went through this. I mean, it was very, very fast, and it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making it. It
Mm-hmm.
was no, pulling my hair out over the fine details and, wanting to make a statement so much. I mean, it was the statement.
Right.
The recordings were the statement and the attitude in them. And so that was easy to do. I mean, it was this great band in the studio. We came in with the songs. We just knocked them out in
Mm-hmm.
a day. So,
Wow, a day. Not
yeah.
bad. That's good. Your management must have been happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
Kept the cost to a minimum.
Oh, yeah. Keep the cost
So
down.
tell me a little more about the band and the producer and sort of walk me through who was playing in this album and how that all came together. Was it your band or were there studio guys or how did it work?
It was studio guys, which in Nashville, my
Yeah,
live band,
everybody. Yeah,
everybody's a studio guy,
yeah,
so or girl.
yeah.
And so it did happen to be a different band than my live band. It
Mhm.
was just people that Alex, my manager, is in really tight with, and he knows them, and he wanted this particular group. And Alex was producing along with David
Mm.
Dorn, who they worked out of Farmland Studio. But anyways, it was Fred Eltringham on drums, who is amazing. He plays with
Mhm.
Sheryl Crow, and he's been on countless recordings you've heard. And he's known as one of the best drummers and such a nice person. Um, Saul Littlefield on guitar, who's a total badass, and Tim Denbo on bass.
Mm.
And then it was me on either electric or acoustic guitar. And yeah, it was just a dynamite band, so high
Yeah.
energy and fun and
And
yeah.
and and lots of lead solos. Is that Saul
Mhm.
or is that you?
He did most of it. I did
Okay.
some of it. There's some songs where I'm sort of panned to the right. I use a fuzz pedal. I
Okay.
think on the song Stowaway, I'm playing
Yeah.
some leads
Speaking
towards,
of long cruises, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I got to have a little fun with the electric guitar and play some leads, but I mean, somebody like Saul, he's just, you know,
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm,
it's nice. You let him cut loose, and
oh
because
yeah,
there's some great guitar playing on this album for
oh
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, we mentioned some of the covers that you're doing. Obviously, Buck Owens, Robert Johnson, "Stop Breaking Down," Gerf song, and "Whiskey Would Help" from Mr. Kurtz, who
Ditch.
was I'm guessing the first guy you've ever covered who's running for governor.
Yeah, would be the first.
That's a new one. I'm looking him up because I wasn't familiar with him and going, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, Adam wrote that song. He wrote it so fast. He's got such a quick mind.
Mm,
And it was a snow day and I was over at his house. We were doing like we were writing, recording something, and he was trying to put down a guitar part and he wasn't liking the guitar part. And I was like, well, let me get you some whiskey. That should help. And we were both like, holy shit, we got to write that down. Whiskey would help. And I was like, yeah, we're going to write it. We're going to write it. And the next day, he had already written it and sent me a work tape of it. And I
uh-huh,
was like, damn, that was fast. And it was
uh-huh.
so good. And I was like, all right. And we did the demo at his house in like a day and then showed it to the band. But he's just so, I mean, he's a very um, clever writer and
Uh-huh.
works very fast. So
You're
that
pretty
came in
clever
handy.
yourself, but are you not that fast?
Oh no, I'm not that fast. I don't,
No?
and he has a knack for writing like really funny stuff.
Mm,
You know, he's got a really quick sense of humor
hmm.
and everything. And that song, the line, when a genius is at work, hang on tight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like he's so funny and
Uh-huh.
quick. And I love that song.
So does it take you like days or weeks or months to write, or are you a stone cutter as
Not always.
okay,
My favorite songs that I've written have happened really fast, but
sure.
like I'm not like a funny punchline kind of writer,
Mm,
that you see a lot in Nashville and country music where like there always has to be some kind of, punchline, isn't
right.
like and like the cleverness of it and everything. Like I don't really write a lot of stuff like that.
Do you wish you were one of those writers?
Sometimes I wish I was better at it, but I
Mhm.
kind of just like writing how I feel and stuff like that's the main thing I do is so when we were looking at songs to go on this album, even though I have like a pretty big collection of songs now, it was like, I don't know if it fits the theme of the album, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, so then, as you said, you've got those covers that kind of tie in with a lot of the themes.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
how did you? Were those all songs you were playing live? I know you mentioned that you were doing the Robert Johnson one live. Were the other ones all
Mhm.
part of your set, or was there some part of it that was, hanging out and listening to albums and going, maybe this one, maybe that one? How'd you?
Yeah, actually, no, we didn't do a lot of like curating from
Mm,
listening to, I mean, it was all part of my live set. Love's Gonna
mm,
Live Here. I'd been doing, it would be like my song Poet in a Buick, and then my live band, we play it into Love's Gonna Live Here. And
Mm,
Alex saw that and really liked it. And Stop Breaking Down, we were already playing. The Gurf song I had started playing out, and Alex heard that and loved it, wanted me to do it. Um, Whiskey Would Help was Ditch just wrote that for, while we're in the process of
right.
selecting songs. And
Pocket Change, I
yeah,
guess, is the other one. Yeah.
Pocket Ch Pocket Change was Alex ran into Mondo at the gym,
Mm,
and they go to the same gym, and I had no idea who Mondo was. I should have known who he was, but I
mhm.
didn't. And I heard that song and I was like, yeah, I mean, I can't say no to that song. And it's perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It all sounds like it just came together kind of
Yeah,
seamlessly and easy and surprisingly so.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you need to cover a song? I mean, does it have to have an emotional connection to you, or does there have to be? Does it? You know what I mean? What sort of makes you go, oh, that one, I want to do that one?
Yeah, it is. It's like the attitude I hear in it, and if I feel like I can sing those words and really mean it,
Hmm.
and that's every single one of those songs. I mean, Stop Breaking Down. I used to call my band Sophie and the Broken Things,
Right.
which was a big thread in all of the songs I wrote. I would mention Broken Thing, it was like a little signature or
Yeah.
whatever. And I've been covering Stop Breaking Down since I was a teenager. And like, to me, it just fit in with a song that, Sophie Gault as an artist would cover.
Mm.
Um, just because it's blues and it's been sung by so many different people
Well,
that
yeah.
I
I mean,
love.
and I think that would be a little intimidating, though, in terms of you've got these things running in your head, and it's
Yeah,
Jack White and the Rolling Stones,
yeah,
and where do I find my sort of, place in
yeah.
that?
You just put it through. I just put it through the Sophie filter, and it came out.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it wasn't really intimidating. I don't think about it like that. I mean, to me, it's like this is a song that's so loved, but yet
Hmm.
so many people don't know that song.
Hmm.
I mean, my contemporaries, I don't know a lot of my contemporaries that listen to blues that much, or regular people who aren't musicians. They heard that song, they'd be like, "That's a really cool song. What is that?" Like, I feel like it's the right timing nowadays to put out a blues song like that. Maybe years ago would have been, you know, wouldn't have stood out as much, but I don't know. I think it needs to be kept alive somehow.
Oh, definitely. The other thing I noticed about your songwriting is it's very alcohol fueled.
Oh yeah.
There's booze in almost all of your songs.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I was never really a weed smoker.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I like to drink. I like to partake in that. And it kind of is part of the whole world I'm in. Which is can be hard for us musicians. We're always having alcohol available,
Uh-huh.
um, playing in bars and stuff. So it's a fine line to walk, but yeah, I do. I love the alcohol, and it does make appearances in my music.
I was gonna say you better watch it because you ever end up having to 12 step it, you're gonna have to throw out your entire catalog, right?
Yeah, I think of that a lot. I do try to write songs where I'm not mentioning the booze so much. They make good poetic devices though, and they
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
rhyme and you
Yeah,
know,
well, what's the one in the new one? Merlot.
yeah. Merlot
I'm
Dodge
forgetting
Dart.
the car model.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dodge Dart. Yeah.
yeah. Merlot Dodge Start. Yeah, that's a great because you can just see it.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted also to ask you about the song. I think it's on the first album, Heavy Metal, which is
Yeah.
just a hoot.
Yeah.
Is that are you a closet metal fan in any way, shape, or form, or is that I know it's a
I
metaphor for other things but metal, but
yeah, I do I like some heavier music.
Uh-huh.
I like the band Korn a lot.
Okay, okay. So you like
Um
shitty heavy metal? Is that it?
yeah, people make fun of me for that, but I just know what
As
I
they
like.
should.
I like Lamb of God. I went to
Uh-huh.
see Lamb of God open for Slayer. Slayer's great too.
Yep.
I was dating this guy that was a big metalhead, and so I kind of got influenced a little bit, but about that. Sometimes you do just want to throw on something really heavy. Metallica, I mean, come on,
Sure.
so good.
Can't lose. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And the thing I love about I mean Lamb of God, Randy Blythe, the singer, he's one of the few metal guys where he's got that voice that I don't know how they
yeah.
do that, but you can actually hear every word he's
That's
saying.
why I like. Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked his show a lot because I
yeah,
did. Yeah, I could hear the words.
yeah. And he said that's very important for him. That's kind of like his.
Yeah,
It's a priority for him as opposed to just the screaming that so many other guys do.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so I mean, I guess one of the advantages of having this album out is now you can go on the road, and it's pretty easy to kind of showcase and reproduce. This was, given that it was kind of based on your live stuff, it's a pretty simple
Mhm.
flow to take it out, right?
Yeah, it's yeah, assembling a band to put on the road. All these albums and everything, they're kind of like templates. All right, here's some guidelines,
Mm,
and now we do it live. And it's always a little bit different live, but steadily the live show is becoming more cohesive, I think. So, yeah.
okay, that sounds cohesive. How?
Cohesive, like everyone's on the same page, like they
Hmm.
know, because have to switch musicians so many times
Right.
live, and I don't get out on the road much because I don't have an agent or anything. So
Hmm.
if I do go out on the road, it's usually a one-off, and it's with one particular band.
Hmm.
Like I played with a pickup band in Texas that was great, but if I had taken that band on the road for 10 days,
Oh
it would have
yeah,
been so great. So
and you would
I
have
just
made
need like
no money, right?
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a well-oiled machine if you're
Hmm.
able to
Mm.
do it all the time. But I haven't been able to do it all the time yet. So that's the frustration. And so that's the hope that I
Right.
can one
Do
day
you
do that.
do you do a lot of I mean solo stuff? Do you do a lot of, get up there with the acoustic guitar and
Oh yeah.
singer-songwriter it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's most of my touring experience is solo
Hmm.
acoustic, which I'm pretty good with the solo acoustic stuff, and that's always the same.
Yeah, and that's a special skill. I mean, that's a it's one thing to go up there with a band and you've kind of got this big machine. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's a very different thing to just be up there by yourself and trying to
Yeah,
communicate with people and that's got to be
I like it better in a lot of ways than playing with the band because sometimes
Mhm.
with the band you feel sort of covered up
Right,
and people don't always hear exactly what you are. And
right.
so I like playing the little songwriter rooms.
Is that sort of your favorite gig?
I think so. Yeah, I mean, certain venues for sure. I always like going to this place in Galveston, the Old Quarter. Uh, and because it's got so much history in that room.
Hmm.
Towns Van Zandt, all these people used to hang out there, and I love the intimacy of that. It's where my music comes from. I mean, you hear the loud rock band and everything, but behind it, the core part of it is just me and my songs and my voice, and like, yeah, playing in an environment like that, that's where the music comes from.
Hmm. Hmm. And I guess you get to, again, you get to make a more direct connection with an audience in that setting, don't you? I mean, you can,
Yeah.
look at people in the eye and talk to them, and I'm guessing, in a lot of those smaller rooms too, it's not you're not playing over somebody's conversation and cocktails.
Right. And
People
it's not
are
always, I mean, sometimes people are going to be talking, and I judge, how well I do based on if I can make somebody turn their head
mm,
and look my direction and quiet the room. And, sometimes you can hear a pin drop. It gets so quiet, which I love those times. It's something you work towards achieving. And
right. And over the
so,
years, are
yeah,
you able to do that more and more and more? Is it a thing that you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Are there tricks to it?
yeah. Um, certain people have tricks. Like Jason Needy told me to start playing quieter, quieter, quieter.
So then
Until
they hush up and listen and lean in and listen. That's
Yeah,
smart.
I haven't tried it out. I haven't done any tricks really. I just try to do my best, and lots of times that works. So,
All right, as long as you're doing your best. So, so we started off with you saying that you're already on to the next thing. So what's the next thing then?
it's gonna be different.
Okay,
It's gonna be different. That's all I'm gonna say.
that's all you got. It's going to be different. Well, that's very, very helpful. Is it going to maybe going to be that you talked about having written a whole bunch of songs for an album that you
Hmm.
didn't really make. So are those going to be something you would
Yeah,
resurrect?
actually, it has to do with the singer-songwriter rooms I've been playing. When I go out on the road, there's a lot
Mhm.
of songs I play in my set that haven't been recorded yet, and I want to focus on that, and I want to make it sound, um, like that, those types of
Mhm.
songs, which is a different. It's going to be different.
Mhm. Well, you
So.
mentioned Towns Van Zandt, and I could hear a Towns Van Zandt album in you somehow. I don't know why, but I think there's a darkness lurking within you somewhere
Oh
that you can
yeah.
tap into for Towns Van Zandt. Um, when you talk about having a lot of songs, I mean, what's a lot? A couple of dozen, or are you somebody who has like hundreds of songs
Oh no.
okay.
No. No, I'll work in batches of songs. Right now I think I counted like 13 or 14 songs
Hmm, that's
that are
not very
ready to
good.
go.
That's
I
not bad.
mean, by Nashville standards, yeah, I know people that write like 100 songs in a
Oh yeah, by
year. I
Nashville standards, that's like a couple
Yeah.
of days work, right?
Right. Yeah, like no, yeah, it takes me a while to write songs, but I have a good batch going.
All right. All right. Well, I guess we'll wait. Oh, yeah, are you hoping to get that out sooner rather than later, or is this going to be another? You got to wait 2 or 3 years to for a cycle and all that stuff.
As soon as possible. Yeah,
Okay.
I want to keep moving. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, listen. I think that's all I got for you. If we talked about everything
Okay.
that you wanted to get to,
Well, it was good, fun talking to you. Good questions.
hey, thanks. It was fun talking to you too. Good answers.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
thanks.
listen. Thanks for
All
your
right.
time today, and thanks for the album. I really love it. I think it's your. I think it's. I know it's not probably, as you said, it's not necessarily the album you wanted to make, and I know it's maybe kind of quick and dirty, dirtier than you wanted to work, but I really like it. It's got its own thing,
It's
you
a
know?
really cool album. I love
Yeah,
it. Yeah, it's a fun one. I'm glad you liked it.
yeah, yeah. So, but I'm already looking forward to the next one. And thanks for your time today, and thanks for the music, and maybe we'll see you up in Canada sometime.
Yeah, I want to come up there. Where in Canada are you?
I am in Winnipeg. I'm almost due north of you and a little to the west. We're
Okay.
right above North Dakota,
Okay, good. Okay, cool.
way up
Yeah, I
there.
want to get up there. I have some cities in Canada that are my top listening
Which ones?
Spotify. Toronto,
Yeah.
um, Calgary.
Uh-huh.
I forget the other one
Yeah,
though.
well, we're in
Winnipeg
between
might
those
be
two.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
you should do it. I mean, there's a whole folk festival circuit up here in the summer. Get yourself
Yeah,
an agent and get up here and come across
yeah,
the country.
yes. If you
Yeah.
know any agents, send them my way.
I don't know nobody. I'm just a guy sitting here. All right. Well, listen, thanks for
All right.
everything. Enjoy the rest
Yeah,
of your day,
thank
and we'll
you.
hopefully
You
see you
too.
somewhere down the road.
All right, I'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.